Today I'm going to install this Never Leak wall-mounted hose reel. It's by Ames. I picked this up at Lowe's. It's really a great looking hose hanger. The one we had before was leaking pretty badly and it was definitely old and needed to be replaced. So I picked this up. It's really nice. It's got 3 different ways that it can be set up. You know, it can lay against the side of the house. It could stand out. You can flip all the way around to the other side. And there's even various degrees that can stand, so it allows for ease of use and access for sure. So it's a really good hose hanger. I want to show you, I've already taken it out of the box and unpacked it, but let me show you what's inside. So you've got the hose hanger itself, of course. Again, look at that, it looks really nice. You got the instruction manual, of course. You've got the mounting options. So you've got lag bolts here if you want to mount it to a wood sided house or a fence with the washers. You've got concrete anchors here. That's how I'm going to be installing it into my house. I've got a block house. And then you've got the handle that does need to be assembled there with its mounting screw and washer as well. You've got the leader hose. They call that the leader hose. This attaches to the wall and then to the unit itself. And some of the tools that you're going to need in order to make this work. You're going to need a hammer drill in my case because I'm going to be going into concrete with a 3/8 inch drill bit. You will need a ratchet or a close-end box wrench or some sort of wrench to screw that in, either the lag bolts or the concrete bolts. And then number 2, Phillips head screwdriver, a hammer potentially if you're going into concrete to tap those anchors in, and a razor knife. They didn't tell you what the razor knife is for in the instructions, but it's pretty interesting. One of the things that they require, or they tell you to have in here, is a template in order to get the screws on this lined up onto the wall properly, or where you're going to be mounting it, so you don't have to hold it in your hand and guess. So on the back of the box, it says it's actually on the box. It took me a little bit to find it. I don't know why, but I did. And here it is. It's printed out on the box itself. So you can see the little markings here where each one of the screws will go. I went ahead and took the razor knife and cut this out so you can see how you would need it, and you can mount that up. I'm going to be mounting it in this place right here once the paint dries. I'll need to mount that up there, check the level, and of course check the height. But this is all you're going to need. I mean, if you really want to be specific, you can get a level to make sure that this is not going to be laying crooked. Be a good idea. So I'll show you how that goes as we go along. So my wife has figured out exactly how high she wants this to go, and of course I got to make sure she's happy with the placement of this. So we've got this about the height of the nozzle, the spigot, about 4 or 5 inches off the center. So I'm going to level this out. Let's see if this works. Use this level to ensure that it's straight. I went ahead and poked holes in this thing anyway, just to mark it. I know where it needs to be. Excellent. Got those marked out pretty well. Make sure that I was looking at the right ones. Okay, I'm going to drill it out. It's about to get a little loud, but I've got the 3/8 inch drill bit, hammer drill. I'm going to post some holes in here. Make sure you're not going to hit anything, but this is concrete. We should be good to go. I'm going to start with the lower hole. Makes life easy when you got the right tools. So another quick tip that might help you out, when you go to put these wall anchors in here, if it's really, really tight, because this 3/8 inch just did not, it's giving not enough clearance, you can just run that through a couple times really lightly to clear out any of the dust that could be in there. That cleans it out a whole lot easier. It's still tight, but you'll be able to get that in there a whole lot easier. I'll do the same here. You're going to want to leave these bolts on. So when you put this through here, you can lightly tap it, and it'll take the sleeve and put the sleeve in the wall as well. And you want to get that to where it's just about flush. Where the sleeve is flush with the wall. Very nice. Okay, so I've got it hung up here. You want to make sure that you do that when you put the nuts back on, you put the washer first, the locking washer, and then the nut itself. So the washer, locking washer, and then the nut. And I'll tighten this up the rest of the way. And then use the ratchet. And as you tighten it, it'll start pulling that in. And they'll pull it in really tight, expanding that sleeve, and then it'll lock it into the concrete. If you find that it's just rotating, like this one got loose, it'll just, you'll have to pull it tight first. You can use a hammer to wedge it in, and then you can start tightening up pretty well. So it's hung. I went ahead and added the handle so it spins around nicely. However, I ran into a bit of a problem. I want to show you something here. I'm going to have to make an adjustment. And this lever lifts and locks. It's in place here, pointing out at a 90-degree angle to the wall. By the way, if you lift and turn it again, it locks in place. That's 180 degrees from the way it starts. And then I'll also show you, these are the bolts as they were finished. Here's the challenge. When I lift and go to close this, show you, it won't lock because this piece, this bolt is sticking out too far. The sleeve here only went in so far. I couldn't get it to go any farther without losing the bolt inside the wall. So I'm going to have to cut this in order for this to be able to lay flush. Not sure if that was another design flaw or if that was just a user error, but I'm going ahead and cut this here with a hacksaw to trim it down. So I'll fix that. Okay, hacksaw did the trick. Just use a real quick hacksaw, cut that bolt down. Now locks, swings out nicely, goes back, locks in perfectly fine. There we go. Fits good. Now all I have to do is connect the leader hose and the regular hose. and we're all set. Just make sure when you're dealing with the leader hose, you ensure that those rubber stoppers are in each of the ends of the hose. If they're not there, it's going to leak. I'm going to put some Teflon tape here, thread it through, and then on this side, that's where you connect it on this one. So Teflon both of those, connect it on. Well, I completed the job, so we've got the leader hose connected. Not sure how this thing is supposed to hang, but I guess maybe through some time it'll settle down. But I've got my hose. It's a little over 100 feet of hose. I want to say it's right at 100, but it fits perfectly fine. This, you lift it up. I can do this with one hand, maybe. Set it aside, swings out. You can have it at 90 degrees or 180 degrees. Works perfectly fine. Either way. Looks great on both sides actually too. Swing it back and it locks. Turn this and it locks it in place. There we go. Well, I hope this tutorial has helped you out. I know there was a couple of challenges that I ran into. Maybe you won't have to deal with the same problems. So good luck.